Up to a third of European forest species depend on veteran trees and deadwood for their survival. Deadwood is providing habitat, shelter and food source for birds, bats and other mammals, and is particularly important for the less visible majority of forest-dwelling species, insects, especially beetles, fungi and lichens. Deadwood and its biodiversity also play a key role for sustaining forest productivity and environmental services such as stabilizing forests and storing carbon. When a snake eventually thumbs, it continues to contribute to overall health of the forest. Biologists are now calling the logs hotspots of the forest ecosystem, integral to the biological diversity. Like snakes, downed logs provide shelter and denning sites for mammals, birds, amphibians and reptiles. Small animals such as squirrels and chipmunks use logs as easy routes through the forest. Logs also act as nurseries for plants, giving them a nutrient-rich base in which to take root. It's a fascinating exercise to count the number of plant species growing on a nurse log.
For generations, people have looked on deadwood as something to be removed from forests, either to use as fuel or simply as a necessary part of correct forest management. Dead trees are supposed to harbor disease, and even veteran trees are often regarded as a sign that a forest is being poorly managed. Breaking up these myths will be essential to preserve healthy forest ecosystems and the environmental services they provide.
Deadwood stabilizes forests, sustains forest productivity, stores carbon, and provides food and habitat for thousands of specialized species. Many threatened species are associated with deadwood in Europe, ranging from simple organisms to complex, mobile species like woodpeckers. Deadwood is now one of the most threatened habitats in the forest. In today's damaged forest ecosystem, strategies for restoring deadwood are also urgently required. But as deadwood is an indicator of naturalness, restoration needs to be carefully planned and rely wherever possible on natural functioning.
The storing of carbon in ecosystems. As the reality of climate change is widely recognized, carbon sequestration is gaining attention as one way of reducing greenhouse gases. Major forest carbon pools include trees, understory vegetation, deadwood, litter, and soil. Deadwood is important as it is both a store and source of carbon, but is generally the least studied of the carbon pools. Deadwood plays a wider role by storing carbon to mitigate global warming as efficiently as many young timber plantations. On the other hand, in impoverished forests, restoring deadwood by retention can store carbon for many decades or centuries. Calculations in labs suggest that creation of new protected areas can store the same amount of carbon as afforestation.
Deforestation imperils biodiversity worldwide. But forest degradation through the removal of deadwood and old trees is widely neglected threat that results in considerable additional loss of biodiversity and alterations in ecosystem processes. Minimizing forest degradation in the future will require not only the maintenance and restoration of deadwood in forests, but also environmental education programs that emphasize the critical value of deadwood for forest biodiversity and ecosystem processes to policymakers, land managers, scientists, and the general public.